What is going on, guys? I hope you're having a fantastic day. I am so pumped because tomorrow morning I am headed to Monterey Car Week on an awesome rally. So if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, now is the time to smash that subscribe button, turn the notifications on your phone and on YouTube itself so you don't miss some of the epic content coming this week. Now, I'm headed to my friend Joey's house right now to pick up his Taycan Turbo to film a fun video with. I guess I'm doing a theme of electric cars recently. All right, guys, here she is. Shout out to Joey. There's his Instagram right here for loaning me his Taycan Turbo. This thing is gorgeous. What do you guys think of the blue accents? I'm absolutely in love with that. Let's hop in and take this car out into the canyons. I gotta say, I do absolutely love the interior of this car, especially this curved display. That is so gorgeous, and the steering wheel is amazing. The wheel is definitely in stark contrast to the yoke on the Plaid Model S. I think I much prefer this, especially with the drive mode selector. Kind of feels like the 918 Spider wheel. But let's take this car out for a drive, shall we? It's got kind of a unique lever to put it into reverse right there. Check out the backup camera. Damn, the backup camera is actually really warped. Did you see that car go by? Look at the shape of them. I'm really excited because the Taycan Turbo S that I reviewed before didn't have this really cool option. All right, check this out. See at the bottom how it says electric sport sound? Here's what it sounds like off. Dead silent. Now check this out. Now it sounds like a literal spaceship. It even makes gear shift noises. Wait a minute. We're gonna hit it again. You hear that? Kevin Lowe doing some canyon runs. So at this point, we all know that electric cars are extremely fast acceleration-wise. The Model S Plaid doing 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds, the Navara doing it in 1.85, and of course, the Taycan is extremely fast as well. But something I've always been curious about is how does the performance fare as the battery drains? Porsche says that the Taycan Turbo can do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds flat. Now that's at full charge. So how does it fare at 75% battery, at 50% battery, and at 25% charge? Well, today, we're gonna find out exactly that. But before we get started, I gotta give a special shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Charity Stars. I've partnered with Charity Stars to give you guys the opportunity to potentially win a fully electric Porsche Taycan 4S. Charity Stars is a groundbreaking fundraising platform that helps raise money for charitable causes. Guys, if you click the link in the description below or go to charitystars.com/vehiclevirgins, use code VV10 at checkout, you'll get 10 free entries to win a Taycan 4S with your purchase. The donations benefit War Child, an amazing charity that is striving for a world where children's lives are no longer torn apart by war. So not only can you support a great charity, you can also win one mean-looking Porsche. The spec on the 4S they're giving away is absolutely stunning, and the fact that it's a $104,000 base price, has 522 horsepower, does 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, and you never have to stop at a gas station again. I want one, and I'm sure you guys do too. So guys, head to charitystars.com/vehiclevirgins and use code VV10 at checkout for your chance to win a fully electric Porsche Taycan 4S. Some specs on this car for you guys before we head out and do some tests. Taycan Turbo, 670 horsepower. It's got 2 motors, one on the front axle and one on the rear axle. And it can do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds flat. Now, the Model S Plaid has 3 motors and the Navara has 4 motors. So I'm anticipating that eventually Porsche will likely add 1 motor at each wheel on a future generation of the Taycan and make it just unbelievably fast. Now, this car obviously is no slouch. Let's see what it can put down. I do have to say, looks-wise, this is such a sexier car than the Tesla Model S. Every single angle on the Taycan Turbo is just drop-dead gorgeous. I love this car. What do you guys think in the comment section below? Looks of a Model S or the Taycan? Now, to make things official, I've got my handy V-Box data logger up on the dash so we can check the 0 to 60 times as the battery percentage depletes in the Taycan Turbo. We're in range mode right now to conserve the battery, but we're gonna go ahead and put it over to Sport Plus. This is the Taycan Turbo model. Now there is a Turbo S model, which I reviewed in the past. That has 750 horsepower and apparently can do 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds, whereas this one has 670 horsepower and can do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. So since I don't have a full charge right now, I'm gonna do it at different intervals intervals. Right now I've got 75% battery, so we're gonna do some 0 to 60 tests at 75%, at 50%, and at 25% to measure the difference. All right, 0 to 60 test number 1 in the Taycan Turbo. Launch activated. Whoa! Wow. 0 to 60, 3 seconds dead. All right, run number 2. There we go, 3 seconds flat. That's 2 identical times, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds flat, exactly what Porsche claims at 75% battery. Let's see what happens, stick it through the canyons at 50% and 25%. The Taycan Turbo is certainly not a one-trick pony. This thing handles every bit as good as an M5 competition or an E63 in the canyons. You don't have that added drama of a V8 soundtrack, of course, which I think eventually I would miss, but I do really like this kind of fake electronic space age sound that they have with the sports exhaust, in parentheses, because of course it's not an actual exhaust. But it sounds cool, and there is something to be said about being able to drive and mob in the canyons without anyone hearing you whatsoever. I mean, in a really loud, like my supercharged Huracan back in the day, when I would go in the canyons, I'm pretty sure cops could hear me 4 miles away, which really isn't ideal. But in this, nobody even knows I'm here, and then you floor it. And it's a heck of a lot of fun. I do have to say, the handling in this car is insane. Porsche did an amazing job with the Taycan. Even though it's heavy, it just doesn't feel like it. I mean, it's no surprise, considering this is, of course, a Porsche after all, but it is definitely a more engaging, dynamic driving experience than in a Tesla. I will say, though, I haven't driven the Plaid, so I can't judge that yet, but I just imagine the steering feel and everything is just a bit better on the Porsche. Man, this thing is so much fun. And it's crazy just going through the canyons when all you can hear is tire noise, no engine at all. Wow. Another absolutely spectacular day out. Man, this view in the canyons never gets old. Check out how the screen changes when you're in different modes. So right now we're in range mode, nice and green. Go to normal, it's white, and then in Sport Plus, we get the checkered curbing like a racetrack. This really is an awesome car. Porsche killed it with the Taycan. I'm also really impressed with the battery life, despite the fact that I'm flooring it absolutely everywhere. It's taken longer than anticipated to run through this battery. I like how I said battery life, like this is an iPhone 11 or something like that. This thing flies. Woo! Who says you can't have fun in an electric car? Oh, look, the enemy is in front of us. I do gotta give him props, though. It's the only Tesla with a custom license plate I've seen that says nothing to do with electricity. Oh, oh, this thing's quick. Damn. Don't see those rhinos on the road very much. Throwback to when I reviewed one of those things. No way. First time crossing this new bridge. For those of you who have been following the channel for a while, that bridge actually burned down at the end of 2018 in the crazy Malibu fires and hasn't been repaired until it must have been in the last month when they fixed that. We're gonna keep going up ahead, but the snake is still closed. This is the way to one of the coolest roads in the world. Such a cool car culture behind it. I hope someday they open the snake back up again. There's the rock store where tons of motorcycles used to gather. And that's all we can go. Rest in peace, snake. Oh yeah, tunnel run. That was easily the quietest tunnel run I've ever experienced in my entire life. There we go, 50% charge. The moment of truth. I'm convinced I feel a small difference, but it could just be entirely in my head. Let's find out. Sport Plus, launch control. 3.1 seconds. All right, let's run it back again. 3.1 seconds again. Well, I'll be honest, I thought there was gonna be a much bigger difference than that at 50% charge, but 0.1 seconds, I mean, that's basically negligible. Oh wow, the Taycan is hot. Listen to those fans. Holy moly. So with gasoline-powered cars, they technically get faster as you burn more and more fuel because the car gets a little bit lighter. But a 0.1 second 0 to 60 difference for 50% charge, completely negligible, and you might not gain 0.1 seconds. You likely wouldn't with half a tank of gas over a full tank. Well, now that we've seen 50%, what do you guys think? At 25% charge, is there going to be a difference in power? Guess we'll find out. I gotta say, the cooled seats in this thing work so well, it actually kind of feels like I've peed my pants. Look at that, AC deactivated in Sport Plus to maintain driving performance. That's interesting. The air is absolutely cranking right now, but it's coming out warm now that the AC compressor is completely shut off. All right, I had to pull over because this is pretty funny. I wanna say 4 years ago, the first month that I moved to California, I'd never let anyone driven my Huracan before, and I decided to let Alex from Car Throttle drive my supercharged Huracan. In the end, everything worked out totally fine, but I forgot about this right here. Now, prior to this being repaved like 2 weeks ago, there used to be a bump right here that was so extreme that you would catch air. And in that video, we caught air and I thought we were going to die. But look at that, they finally fixed it. All right, there we have it, 25% battery. Man, let's see, at this point, I'm pretty much convinced it's gonna be 3 seconds or 3.1 seconds, but we'll find out. All right, same spot as the first launch. Oh, it won't do launch control anymore. Even with no launch, 3.1 seconds. All right, last launch. .1 again. This is actually comedy. By far the loudest part of this car is the fans after you turn it off and hop out. Well guys, that's not at all what I thought was going to happen. To be honest, I thought it was going to significantly decline in performance, especially at that 25% range. I thought there would be a noticeable difference, but there wasn't whatsoever. What's interesting is the battery was low enough to where the car no longer wanted to do launch control, yet it could still do 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds. So there you have it. With the Porsche Taycan, your percentage of charge does not affect the performance of the vehicle. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. Once again, thanks to Joey for loaning me the car, and shout out to Charity Stars for sponsoring today's video. Look forward to seeing you guys next video.